not confident in but today what we will be doing is plan what we so don't worry. Don't worry about the words are from this. I handed them out last time. You guys should know these by now, but if not, don't worry. So I have to talk about COVID. But I was first in, I was first in, right? If you guys couldn't do it, it's okay. Because it's information even from the I forget. But I want you guys to figure that out. Figure out living and that's what we meant. Now, I'm not saying I will magically get anything there, but it's more of finding waking up one morning. Even though that can happen, I want this to happen. That's not what we're trying to do. I want to share with you that question. This person is always and like a month, it was only one day, a month ago, yeah, month ago, 6 months ago, yeah, it is important. But in my last week, it really stood out to me after God after God and doing it was big for them. Yeah, and when we woke up, he wanted to support the president without himself and what he wanted to do. He wanted to do it, but and so when they couldn't, Daniel never been sent it was that all so Daniel and the other guy. But after the guy came to Daniel had written instructions, and then Daniel told him to give him an extension of time. So after that, Daniel came. That's Meshach and then go for that's about to help him pray or help him know the dream. And then later that night, you know, he got the meaning of it. And then this is what Daniel prayed. In Daniel chapter 2, verse 20 to 25. He said, praise the name of God forever, for he has all wisdom and power. He controls the course of the world events. He removes kings success of other kings. He gives wisdom, but listen to this. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the scholars. Later down the prayer, Daniel prays to God and says, for you have given me wisdom and strength. So Daniel was really wise, but with his wisdom, Daniel was humble with it, and he knew that the purpose for it was to give God the honor and glory. Because later in the chapter, after Daniel came to Pharaoh and was going to tell him that after he had received the vision, and was going to tell him what the meaning of it was, what the dream was, and what the meaning of it. In verse 30, he says, and it is not because I am wiser than anyone that I know the secret of your dream, but because God wants you to understand what was in it. So, you know, learning another language is kind of a new way, like really intimidating. It's kind of like wisdom, kind of. Everything is wisdom with knowledge, and God wants to give us give him the honor and glory with it. So, and so ask God to give you wisdom in learning Spanish so you can use it for His glory. And it's a promise from God that He will hear you and help you because it says in 1 John chapter 5, verse 14 to 15, it says, and we are confident that He hears us whenever we ask for anything that pleases Him. And since we know that He hears us when we make a request, we also know that He will give us what we ask for. So, ask God for wisdom to lead you through the right apps, through the right YouTube channels, and I'll try to be helping you guys with the Spanish channels as well. I'm planning to make a new, but kind of more focused on like the words you use when you know change shop for basic words like what I'm going to show you. This is the first so I didn't get a time to organize the lesson, so if you guys give me just 1 minute, then it's 30 minutes. Give me 1 second. You got to come very. That's it.
Yeah, I love it.
It was great. And I never really go to but now.
Yeah, I have one. You still live out in that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Started learning like.
Not like Honduras. Yeah, so like.
We got about 5 minutes, so maybe to roll on it. Y'all keep talking. You're good.
I just like it.
Let me explain to you on the first one how we're gonna do it. Basically, so we're gonna go in a circle. One person's gonna like hold it up, and you're pretty much, you have on the bottom of the thing, someone is giving you what you said. And your job, the person that is not taking this time, try to think about the word you're gonna say in English and then say it in Spanish as well. So, like, for example, the first one, someone is giving you a gift, what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the answer's gonna be on the back. So you guys got that? Thank you. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Yeah, it's not formal, but you guys got it. Yeah.
All right, so, did you be leaving on tape?
Oh, sorry.
So you
So, Cora, so like, prayer, I was like, so fine, and then, yeah.
Don't
It's like, you know, I was like.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Calmado. You know the first word right. Say, don't run, please. This says no.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mira, wow.
So like, yeah, just get out and do that.
Tell the kids to look at you. What would you say?
Buenas tardes.
Anyone else?
Good afternoon. Oh, you just. Do we get it right away?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Your eyes were and how are you?
Who wants that? Who wants that?
You don't mean it's the right word. You don't.
Don't they?
It's.
Oh.
Like.
It's like, need to be on the Sundays, like.
But like.
She's like, don't they? I was afraid. Don't they?
I should know that one. But like if somebody asks you how.
Oh, we were just saying it.
Hola, buenos días, señorita.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
So what up with this?
This in the back.
See if anyone got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, Nathan's on the ball.
Yeah, brother.
You didn't say hello. You said, what is your name?
I did. I should. I'm very rude.
You name.
Yeah.
Yes, so you asked them, how are you?
Yeah, but you asked them, oh, how are you? That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
Yes, yes. No,
¿Cómo estás?
Next one is, she asks you, how does it, meaning in Spanish.
Sí, yo hablo español un poquito, pero no es suficiente por esta conversación.
Wait.
Follow what he said. If she asks you, how does español?
Not what she said, no.
Say, hablo un poco español.
You said.
Poco.
You got it right. You got.
With the hand gesture.
Oh, sorry.
Mira. Mira, Nina. Mira.
Told them that Jesus love you.
Ah, Jesus te ama.
Yes. Jesus te ama.
Nice. This is
Oh,
Okay.
and as far as.
Cool. That.
I should have made the text.
Yeah, a little bit. Can't really do that one.
These are good.
I guess so.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
All right. Cool. Suéltalo. That means sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sit it.
He said, let go. He said, "Swipe."
Oh, suéltalo means let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siéntate.
Yeah.
Por favor.
Is that good?
Siéntate, por favor.
Yeah, I'm done.
That looked really fun. Was that good? Was that good? Yes. Thank Kevin for all of his creativity and work on that. I love that. That was very creative, Kevin. Great job. Great job. Okay, so now we're going to move into how to work with a ministry partner. So the purpose of you learning some Spanish is not so that you can share the gospel, because we want you to learn how to share the gospel in English so that you're not stressed out about having to translate it in Spanish. But the purpose is you're going to have so much time to communicate with people. It will be good to have some basic phrases. And so these are all everything y'all just did, you will be able to say these to people while you're there. And so this is really, really good. It's very helpful for you. So with that, we're going to move into how to work with a ministry partner, also called translator. But the reason we call a ministry partner is because they are partners with us. They do everything with us. They share the gospel as well or better than we do, all of those things. So they're ministry. So with a translator, I'm going to mute you just for a second, Chris, not because of you, but because you're static on my end. Let me see if I can mute you. Maybe can you just mute yourself? Oh, I don't want to mute me. Thank you. That's great. I could just, yeah, it was just static. It's not you. Okay, so tips on working. What? Yes. Oh, I could do that. Well, anyway, okay. So tips for working with a translator. First is act like you don't have one. So act like you don't have one. And what I mean by that is when you're talking, like if I'm talking to Nathan, I'm not going to be looking at Jasmine, my ministry partner, while I'm trying to talk to Nathan. I need to be locking eyes on Nathan and talking to him. And then just trusting your ministry partner is going to be talking to him as well. So act like you don't have one. Listen well, even if you can't understand what they're saying. So he's talking because what you're watching is body language. Like when they're talking, you're watching body language and they are talking to the ministry partner. Now, sometimes they will not look at you. They will look at, and don't worry about that part. You just watch them. So first, what's the first point? Thank you. The second one is remember that you do. Remember that you do have one. This is really important. So even if you speak, how do you say a little Spanish? How do you say? Un poco. So even if you speak un poco español, please do not use Spanish when you're sharing the gospel. You guys use it all you want to. Fluent, great. John and Christian, all you want to, fluent. Most of us are not fluent, right? Just don't intertwine those when you're sharing the gospel. It can just go wrong really fast. And so I'm just asking you to not attempt when you're sharing the gospel. Now attempt away when you're just like talking to kids and talking to people and asking about family, talking to waiters, attempt all you want. But when you're sharing the gospel, let your ministry partner share the gospel. Except for you guys, your ministry partner is going to be there just to help with cultural things. Y'all are going to be, whoop, and sometimes you may not have a ministry partner, but most times you will. Don't panic. Okay, so number one is what? Number two, remember that you do. Yes. So along with remembering that you have one and their purpose, when you're speaking with a translator, use phrases. So whole thoughts, not long sentences, but not single words. And it's because when you're translating, they need the whole thought because words mean different things. Am I right about that? Yes. You want to say not just single words. Like I'm not just going to say just a single word. I'm going to say a whole thought so that they can take the whole thought and translate that. So don't use a lot of sentences because then what do they have to do? Remember all the sentences that you're using. And we tend to talk fast and use a lot of words. So just don't do that. So use whole thoughts when you're working with a translator. Don't just quote scripture. So this is a big deal when we are sharing, because what are you learning? You're learning all the verses. Why? Not so you can quote it, to be honest. It's so you can know it. So if I'm going to flip to Isaiah 55, 8, and 9, I'm not going to say, like, let's just say Jasmine's my translator and I'm talking to Nathan. I'm not going to say, the Bible says in Isaiah 55, 8, and 9, my thoughts are nothing like your thoughts. We're not going to do that. I'm going to say, let's read and see what Isaiah 55, 8, and 9 has to say. Jasmine is going to take it and speak it in Spanish. Or we're going to ask them to read it in Spanish. You are not the one that's going to be trying to share scripture in Spanish because you don't want your ministry partner translating all that. It just makes it cumbersome. Does that make sense? Everybody following me? So when we're working with a translator, what's the first one? Yeah, but yes. Okay. And the third is body language. Your body language is amplified. It's because you're cross-cultural. So speak like this is one reason that you're learning so well how to share the gospel is so you can be calm and comfortable when you're sharing. Because I'm going to tell you, if you are at the door, and I'm not saying you won't be nervous, but if you're at somebody's door and you're like this, they are going to be a little uneasy talking to you. But if we're just like, okay, Lord, do this. And we're calm, we're trusting the Lord. So amplified. Eye contact again, eye contact. Smile. If you look like a mean, grumpy person on a regular day, just be a different person like that when you go to Honduras. Just smile and be personable because it helps people feel comfortable Like, how many people, think about this with you, how many people, if their resting face is grumpy, anybody know a resting face grumpy person? Yeah. Do you feel comfortable going up and talking to them and approaching them? Even if they're your close friend, we're like, today might be an unusually bad day, right? Because it's just that. So we want to be warm in our body language because they already can't understand our words, but they can understand our language. They can understand, oh, they have the joy of the Lord in them. Oh, they look like they want to be here. They look like they care about me. Just because we are relaxed and comfortable and warm around them. So body language. And then the last part of body language is listen for cues, listen for, this will help you in daily life too. But be conversational and just watch for cues. This is a great example. This morning, I was talking to a new guest right here at the kitchen. I needed to talk to Sherry Smith before she left, one of our life group leaders. She was leaving, and in my thought, I'm thinking, don't break eyes with the guests. They need to know they're important. This is what I'm thinking while I'm listening to them talk to me. All while I see in my peripheral, she's coming, and I'm like, I need to talk to her today. And so I don't know what I did, but I just shifted my body a little bit towards her, and I kept looking at them, and she got it. I saw her slow down, and I was like, thank you. And so after we got done talking, he walked on, and I looked at her and I was like, thank you for being able to read the cues. And you knew that I needed to talk to you. She was like, yeah, I could tell you needed to say something. That is how you do that. Like, you want to make sure you're reading people's body language. Why is that? Why do you think that's important when you're sharing the gospel? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because if their eyes are starting to glaze over and they're like looking back and they keep like getting distracted about, you're going on too long. Like, there's something you need to be wrapping them up a little bit faster. But if they are like engaged and they're nodding along, like they are in it, then you know, okay, the Lord is working on them because they are in it. And so keep going. So it's really important to watch body language. Okay, so what was number one? Like you don't have one. Number two? Yep. Number three? Yes. Okay. So with that, Maggie, I would love for you to share just more about working with ministry partners.
The first, I just want to say, like, one of the biggest blessings is the relationships that you do make with your ministry partners. And they are so sweet. They really do like love on us so well throughout the entire trip. And so it's just important that we love on them as well. So they are literally with us the entire time, except for where we see. But like on the bus, they're with us. So just like make sure we're saving a seat for them, to sit next to you, just to like get to know them a little bit better. That's one of the best places just to have good conversations and get to know them. They are so fun and silly, and they'll sing with you on the bus if that's your thing. If not, then they will.
If not, it may be your thing before.
Yeah. I think last year, like randomly, everyone started bursting out in a song, and I was like, "What is happening?" And then I got hooked into it. So it's fun. So just get to know them, be their friends. Because like literally, they'll even when we work like at the church, do like if we have to paint or something, they're right there with us, working alongside of us. So just get to know them, be their friends. There's some pretty great people. We all have that app. Anyways, we can still talk to them like wherever we hear. Yep, WhatsApp. What's that app? WhatsApp. We have that, and so we still communicate all the time.
Can I pause you in the middle of your thought? This is a great example. Yesterday, Amanda McDowell messaged me, and she was like, I just got off the phone with Tirsa. That's one of our ministry partners that she met last year. She was like, and it was such a great conversation. Like, the relationship doesn't end.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And it's so fun when you go back and like, you know so many people, but then you also get to meet new people. Like, there was a girl who we went to a home group one time, and like, she was so shy. But she was the only child, and she was so sweet. And me and Aaron Alexander, we were there together, and we were talking to her, and she was like, we were like, you should come with us tomorrow. And she was like, I don't know. I always wanted to like help, but like, I don't feel like I don't know my English well enough. And we were like, we'll just come and like see. And she loved it and she did so great. She ended up like going, I think she was with, Belle and like did great, such a good job. So you get to meet new people while you're there as well. So when you're working with them, like Tammy already said this, just like have your thoughts together. And so you're not like kind of stumbling over, but if you do like happen to make a mistake, I was telling that Evangel gals the other day, like if you do like, if it's your first time and you're nervous, because you probably will be nervous, and you mess something up, like it is okay. Like they know this thing, they know Welcome to Eternity, they know their scripture backwards and forwards, and so they can help you out. And like, last year, one of them, I was with someone who was their first time, and we were sitting first, and she, it was, Sierra was with us, and she was just like, hey, you could say it like this, like he was asking like, how to start, and she was like, you can start like this, and just like really coaching him through the process, and so it was really sweet just to see like how they like are willing to help, so don't be nervous, because they're nothing but nice. Speak slowly and clearly so that they can understand, because there is still a language barrier there. They speak very well English for the most part. Our ministry partners do, but there's still a language barrier. So speak slowly and clearly. Don't use any slang, like, you know,
Y'all.
don't say y'all or like ate, you know, like unless you're, I have this tip or I ate that, but you know, don't use it in a slang term or things like that. Use simple words. Because to be honest, I don't even understand a lot of difficult words. So like, keep it simple. Michael Scott says, keep it simple, stupid. So there you go. And then make sure that you are, pausing, like say a complete thought, pause to let them be able to do their thing and then be able to translate. And then just remember just to be, thankful, to like thank them for what they're doing. One thing I love is like every day on the bus back to Impacto, we always say like, Amy always asks like, how did it go? Like give us some highs, you know, or like how it went or whatever. So be sure to like thank them. Like if you see them like just really like taking over or see them like really just like helping out in a way or like giving you advice, like thank them in person, but also like give them a little shout out, you know, just so they feel appreciated and feel, because they really are like so helpful. So yeah.
Yeah, our ministry would not be effective without our ministry partners. They're just amazing.
Yeah.
And like Maggie was saying, on the bus, we will share so many God stories, like how did you see the Lord work? And if you are with somebody that, like Maggie said, like really had an impactful thing, or it was just a really good conversation, feel free to say, like, Raina, why don't you tell us about it? Or
Yeah.
Juan, would you mind sharing with us? We had a new partner last year. It was Jose that was new. Juan was new, Jose was new. Jose was new.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job. He's 13 and did an incredible job. And so just hearing from him and just imagine like you're also pouring into these, some are young adults. A lot of our partners will be young adults, but then some are younger. So you'll get to actually pour into them. And what we hear all the time is you haven't been yet, but it'll be you this time. Like you inspire them to live a life of faithfulness to the Lord. And it's a huge thing. Every time we go, I'm like, how do we inspire you?
Yeah.
You'll understand when you get there. You'll be like, oh my, they inspire us to do better. So just all of those things Maggie said, I know we've still got months before we get there. Remember them. Just remember them. Okay, so with that, we're going to role play for just a minute. So Kobe and Kevin, if y'all could come up, you don't know that you're doing this, but you do now. And it will be easy for y'all. I'm doing the work, but Kobe, I'm going to come to your door to share with you. And Kevin, you're my ministry partner, okay?
Okay.
Okay, this is all it is. So you're going to speak in Spanish the whole time?
I can't really speak Spanish that well.
What?
He understands it.
Okay, you understand it. Can you be a translator? Would he be better as a translator?
Can you code it?
I'm not sure.
You know, we'll see how it goes. This is how to work with a translator. Anybody else? What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, the bond pretty good.
Devon, so.
Devon can sub. All right, sub. All right, Devon. All right, then I'm gonna speak to you and Devon's gonna be a translator. Yes?
You wanna come?
What do you think?
It's so.
No, it's up to you.
Okay, so wait, I mean, I can translate.
You can translate. Okay, then I'm gonna be sharing with you and you're gonna be speaking in Spanish. Nobody's gonna know if you get it wrong, but Kevin. Okay, I'm sorry. It was gonna be John or Christian. John and Christian, usually what happens? They're not here.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're just gonna give it a go. And what you're really looking for is not the language, right? What you're looking for is the process. So we're not judging on language. None of us are gonna know if you get it wrong or not. Thank you for being willing.
So I'm gonna translate what you,
I'm gonna speak to you, but he's gonna be speaking to you in Spanish.
okay.
Does that sound good? Okay. But can you look at me because I want to talk to you first. Okay, I've knocked on your door. Hey, Devon, hi, my name is Tanya.
Hola, Tanya.
You don't know that yet. You only speak Spanish.
Okay.
Okay, you only speak Spanish. So, hi, my name is Tanya and I'm with Impacto Church. I'm serving here this week.
Yeah, se llama Tania y está sirviendo con inglesa, con hijos en Franco.
Ah, okay.
Do you know? It's really good. Have you been to that church down the street or do you know which one I'm talking about?
¿Has visto esa iglesia bajo la calle? ¿Dónde está allá?
Sí, me acuerdo, como unos años me fui allí.
He said that he went there a couple of years ago. That's why.
Great. Well, we're here serving with them this week and really just want to share more about the Lord. Do you have a few minutes that we can talk to you about Jesus today?
En esos momentos para escuchar a ella platicar contigo, Jesús y el mecánico.
Pues sí, pero mi familia está adentro, pero sí tengo un poquito tiempo.
He says that he has a minute. His family's inside though. But
Okay, that's great. Well, they're welcome to come out and join you if you want to bring them out.
están bienvenidos a hacer.
You're doing good.
You got it.
Hijos, hijas.
That's great. Okay, well done. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Well done. Devon gets the gold star. He had no idea that was happening. Thank you, Kobe, for letting me put you on the spot. I didn't know. Assumptions, never make assumptions. Did I tell you? Never make assumptions. Okay, so did y'all see how that went? Tell me what you observed from the process of that.
You made eye contact just with him.
Mhm.
Don't look back at the translator.
Mhm.
And that's the first rule.
Yeah, that's it. So we're acting like it's just me and him. It was just me and Devon. But then I had to look at Kevin because I'm like, what did he say? Because he's talking. I don't know what he's saying. So I'm having to look just to hear. But what you'll find with ministry partners is as you're speaking, they are talking in your ear. Like you will know what is happening. It's not always a delay. Now, sometimes it may be if they're really young. Anyway, so that is, Chris, I think we're about to end again. Okay. I'm going to do the best I can to connect you quickly the next time, but hang on because it said we have 10 more minutes. So we're just going to keep rolling with the 10 minutes. Does that sound good? Okay. Okay. So what did you notice? I didn't read any of the Bible because we were trying to move through it, but we'll just keep going. A little bit about details of the project. We're going to switch gears and move on from translating. Now we're going to go into details of the project. So this is going to be very high level. We are going to be mixing in different communities. So there's probably going to be about 3 communities that we go to. We won't know for sure until August. They're working on all of those plans now. But we'll probably go into 3 different communities. None of this is in your book. Your book is really for you on your own time. I was talking to Yana about this. We will hit some things high level from your book, but none of this is in your book. This is all very Honduras trip. So we're going to be mixing in with a community. So every time we show up, we're going to hop off the bus. And who have we saved a seat for on the bus? Our ministry partners. So just think about when you come to life group and we're always inviting a guest to come to service with us. It's the same kind of thing. We're just always thinking about other people. So saving a seat for them on the bus. We're going to get off the bus together. We're going to walk into, to me, the most intimidating time is Friday night because you've just landed. We've had dinner, or lunch. We've gone to the hotel. We've checked in. We get all cleaned up and we head to the church and it is game on. And so we walk into Impacto and it is full of wonderful, kind, sweet people who are just like us, right? And by that, I mean, we stand with our little group and we talk with our little group. Well, do you know what we do? Our job on the mission team is to go enter into those conversations. That's the most intimidating time, I think, of the whole trip because you're nervous, all of these things. So what I recommend, take a buddy with you. So like you two are just like, hey, let's go talk to them. And you're going to walk up to this table and hopefully with a ministry partner, but you'll find somebody at Impacto. There's always people that speak English. So it is not, I mean, there's a lot of people. They are doctors, lawyers, like they are very smart. Like they know their stuff. They know the Bible, they know English most of the time. So just know, get out of your comfort zone, walk into the church, and we are going to be interacting with them. So always interacting with other people, mixing in with the community. So if we're walking into a different church at a different community, I want to be like, hey, Paul, and we're going to start, whatever. Hey, Paul, let's go talk to this group or whatever. So just pull a partner with you and walk over and chat with them. So we're just going to engage with them everywhere. Door-to-door evangelism is going to look so much like what you just saw. There's going to be one of us, a ministry partner, and then a church partner. So one other person will be with you who does not speak does not speak English. And then we're going to go up to the houses and we're going to start just like that. So that's what door-to-door looks like. School visits, we're not going to talk about that yet because I don't know for sure that they're going to happen. What to wear. So if you're not sure what to wear, we've covered this in the first training, but just to go over again, because now's the time that you're probably thinking about what do I need to shop for. So always wear closed-toed shoes when we're traveling about. So that's like tennis shoes. Time left, 3 minutes. Okay. So tennis shoes, things like that are great to wear. Just forget about fashion, which today we wear tennis shoes with everything. So wear tennis shoes. Those are great. Sandals, don't wear open-toed shoes when we're out and about. It's just not the best thing to do. Now, if we're going to home group, if we're going to church service, sandals are fine. But for the most of what we do, closed-toed shoes. Ladies, you can wear jeans. Jeans are fine. I would die in jeans. I'm not telling you to wear jeans. But most people there wear jeans 24/7. So I recommend I don't know the material. I call them mission trip pants. But it's like, it's Fisher, it's like fishing pants,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say. Quick dry. Thank you. It's like quick dry, but they're pants. It's not like the quick dry shirts. It's you'll know, it's a different feel. Yes, it's like jogging pants, but they're not knit. Yeah, you don't want a cotton. Woo, those are dying. If they're not holy, or maybe that's kind of you want.
Holy jeans, not holy.
Yeah. Yes, if it has like a rip in the knee, that's okay. But if it's like all the way up, lots of them, don't do that. I'm looking at gas table. I'm like, I don't wear holy jeans. None of y'all do anyway. Anyway, so yeah, jeans are just gonna be hot. I'm just gonna tell you, they're gonna be burning hot.
I would wear them going evangelize or VBS.
Uh-huh.
Maybe at night.
At night, yes,
But not
yes.
to go out and about.
Right. During the day, all day, you're probably going to want to wear those other kind of pants. Academy typically has, for guys and girls, great deals on, I think it's BCG is their brand. And you can find them for relatively inexpensive, like $14, $16. I mean, you're not looking to go all stylish. You're looking to go good enough. T-shirts are great. Those are super great. Just don't have any, obviously beer T-shirts and skull heads. Don't do that. You'd be surprised at the Christians who wear skull heads. If you do, I don't know if I'm sorry if I'm offending you. It's just not a place for that. Anyway, so just T-shirts, just be mindful of what's on the T-shirt. let's see, anything else, Maggie? What else would you say?
Um,
For home groups, I'll talk about that. Home groups and church. Okay, so church, just don't wear spaghetti straps, like cap sleeve. So like sundresses, make sure the cap sleeves are there. For guys, khakis and a polo is always a good option. Like what y'all have on now is basically what we do wear to church. I'm looking around, everybody in the room is appropriate for church. Like dress like you go to church. And that's kind of what we're looking for. For home group, dress like you're going to a birthday dinner. Is that a good way to describe it?
yeah, like I would normally wear like jeans. Like I would wear this, like jeans and like a cute top. Or something.
Yeah, just dress like,
My tennis shoes.
Yeah. and that is a great home
Or
group.
some sandals,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's not fancy, it's not church, it's comfortable. But it's also not a work day. Like we're not going to be doing VBS and sitting on the floor. So like what you have on,
You're in
it's great.
condition.
Yeah.